Success does not begin with talent. It does not begin with perfect timing. It does not begin with connections. It does not even begin with confidence. It begins with grit. Not the glamorous kind. Not the motivational poster version. It's a quiet, stubborn, unshakable decision to keep going when everything inside you wants to stop. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people do not fall short because they are incapable. They fall short because they quit too early. They confuse discomfort with danger. They confuse boredom with misalignment. They confuse slow progress with no progress. And the moment results are not immediate, they retreat. But grit rewires that instinct. Grit says, stay. Stay when it is repetitive. Stay when it is frustrating. Stay when nobody is clapping. Stay when improvement feels invisible. Grit is emotional endurance. It is the ability to tolerate the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that gap is where most dreams fade. Let us break this down clearly. There are two types of motivation. The first is emotional motivation. It is intense. It is exciting. It feels powerful. It shows up after watching an inspiring video or having a breakthrough conversation, but it fades. The second is disciplined commitment. It does not feel exciting. It feels ordinary. Sometimes it feels heavy, but it shows up daily. Grit is built from the second one. If you are waiting to feel motivated, you are building on unstable ground. Grit is built when you act without feeling ready. When you wake up tired and still train. When your content gets low views and you still create. When you stumble publicly and still try again. That is where psychological resilience forms. Here is the roadmap. Step 1. Redefine setbacks. Most people treat setbacks like identity. I didn't succeed, therefore I am a failure. But setbacks are feedback. They are data. They are information about what did not work. When you detach identity from outcome, you become resilient. Because now mistakes cannot define you. They can only refine you. Every high performer you admire has a long list of unsuccessful attempts behind them. The difference is they did not romanticize quitting. Step 2. Train your discomfort tolerance. Grit grows in friction. If your life is built around comfort, your resilience will stay weak. Do hard things intentionally. Cold showers, difficult conversations, extra practice when nobody is watching. Saying no to distractions. Each time you voluntarily choose discomfort, your brain learns something powerful. I can handle this. And once your brain believes that, pressure stops feeling threatening. It starts feeling manageable. Step 3. Detach from instant validation. We live in a world addicted to feedback. Likes, views, praise, approval, but grit is developed in silence. Can you keep building when no one sees? Can you keep studying when no one checks? Can you keep improving when the results are not visible yet? If your effort depends on applause, it will collapse under indifference. Real growth often feels invisible for a long time. Roots grow underground before trees break the surface. Step 4. Build identity around consistency, not outcome. Do not say, I want to be successful. Say, I am someone who shows up. Do not say, I want discipline. Say, I am someone who finishes what I start. Identity-driven behavior is powerful because it shifts the focus. Now the goal is not to win. The goal is to align with who you say you are. And when identity is strong, quitting creates internal conflict. You begin to feel uncomfortable breaking promises to yourself. That is when grit becomes automatic. Step 5. Shrink the battlefield. Overwhelm reduces persistence. When goals feel massive, your brain looks for escape. Instead of thinking, I need to master everything, think I need to improve 1% today. One workout, one page, one skill practice, one uncomfortable action. Grit is not built in grand gestures. It is built in small, repeated acts of discipline. The compound effect of small actions over time creates unstoppable momentum. Step 6. Normalize plateaus. Progress is not linear. It spikes, it stalls, it dips, it rises again. When you expect constant growth, you panic during slow phases. But slow phases are where refinement happens. You are consolidating skills. You are strengthening fundamentals. Okay? You are building depth. Grit is the patience to push through plateaus without dramatic emotional reactions. You do not need constant excitement. You need steady direction. Step 7. Protect your focus. Distraction is the silent killer of long-term success. Every time you switch goals because something new looks easier, you reset your progress. Grit requires commitment to one direction long enough for mastery to develop. That does not mean blind persistence and something clearly wrong. It means giving your effort time to mature. Shallow effort produces shallow results. Deep focus produces transformation. Now let us address something critical. Grit is not toxic self-punishment. It is not ignoring burnout. It is not denying rest. It is not pushing through real harm. True grit includes recovery. It includes strategic pauses. It includes self-awareness. But it does not include emotional impulsivity. If you quit every time your feelings fluctuate, you will live in cycles of starting over. And starting over is exhausting. Grit breaks that cycle. Here is a powerful shift. Stop asking, how fast can I succeed? Start asking, how long am I willing to stay committed? Because the person willing to stay longer almost always succeeds. Not because they are more talented, but because time amplifies effort. Most people underestimate what can happen in 5 years of focused consistency. They overestimate what can happen in 5 weeks. Your roadmap to success is not mysterious. It is not secret. It is not reserved for the gifted. It is built on this formula: clarity, consistency, emotional regulation, long-term commitment. And grit sits at the center of all 4. When rejection happens, grit keeps you steady. When doubt appears, grit keeps you anchored. When boredom creeps in, grit keeps you disciplined. When success finally arrives, grit keeps you humble, because the journey shaped you. And here is the psychological truth. The moment you decide that quitting is no longer an option for small discomfort, your standards rise. You begin to trust yourself. Self-trust is power. When you know you will show up regardless of mood, external validation loses control over you. You become internally driven. That is when confidence becomes real. Not loud, not performative, but grounded. So if you feel behind right now, understand this: you are not behind. You are just early in the repetition phase. Keep going. If you feel unnoticed, understand this: growth often happens before recognition. Keep going. If you feel tired, take strategic rest. But do not abandon the mission because of temporary emotion. Keep going, because grit compounds. One day you will look back and realize something. The hard seasons did not defeat you. They strengthened you. And the version of you that refused to quit, that version was the turning point. This shifted your perspective. Comment your commitment below. Like this video if it strengthened your mindset. And subscribe for more psychological blueprints that help you build unshakable discipline.